Hello, Internet. Welcome back. It is I, Sarah, and today I want to talk to you about reviewing literature. I've been thinking a lot about whether or not a star rating on a book is arbitrary. Because when you think of a novel or a piece of literature, it's so much. It is a little world contained in 300-400 pages. It is a lot of work. It's a lot of emotion and character development and world building. It is just a lot of stuff in just a few little pages. So why exactly do we feel that can be contained into 5 stars? I'm just going to start out with the fact that I rely pretty heavily on star ratings. The reason why I have faith in this star system is because of the fact that books are almost always, a lot more than what they seem. So, pros of the star system. Number 1, it's quick and easy. You can look at a review of a book on Goodreads and see the overall star rating, and if it's high, you know it's probably good. If it's low, you know it's probably bad. 2, it's a good overall descriptor of how much you liked or disliked the book. And third, and probably my biggest pro of star ratings on Goodreads, is the fact that it helps you find people with similar interests. I'll talk more about that a little later, but I heavily use the compare books tool on Goodreads. My cons for the star system of rating on Goodreads is 1, and pretty much only 1, but it's a big one, is that it is so few stars. Now, right now, you're probably like, girlfriend, what are you talking about? 5 stars is plenty of stars. Better than 3 stars, better than 4 stars. But I don't really think so. I think that there's such a vast diversity of books to be read that you cannot contain all of them within 5 stars. You cannot give only 5 options to how you received a book that you read. I mean, if it was up to me, I would have a 50-star rating system, but that's just pretty darn ridiculous. For example, these 3 books, I have given all of 5 stars on Goodreads. But if I were to place them in order from my favorite to my least favorite, it would go 1, 2, and 3. But on Goodreads, someone who's looking at my reviews could easily say that I like Red Dragon and Ready Player One the exact same. Let's throw another arbitrary number out there and say that it was a 75-star rating system. In that case, I would give Ready Player One a 73 rating, The Sun Also Rises a 71 rating, and Red Dragon a 69 rating. Now, obviously, I know that we live in the real world, and a 75-star rating system is absolutely insane, and it would just cause absolute chaos all over Goodreads and the internet and the entire world, but it just proves the fact that a 5-star rating system is pretty narrow for the amount of literature that has ever existed. Now, what really got me thinking about this was Make Something Up by Chuck Palahniuk. This is his latest book. It is a collection of short stories. Now, I recently gave this a 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, but realistically, it could have been either a 1-star or a 5-star. I know that this is pretty individual to short story collections, but there were some in here that I wish that I never would have read because they were so bad. And not just Palahniuk kind of disgusting, makes you want to die kind of bad, which in my opinion is good, but the kind that I just simply wish didn't exist. But then on the other hand, there was another handful that were absolutely 5 stars all the way across the sky, double rainbow for life, and I love them. So when I finished this book and I went on Goodreads and I wanted to set it to finished and the little stars popped up and said rate this book, I had a bit of a conundrum on my hands. So I kind of panicked and I just thought, did I like this book? Yes. Did I love it? No. Did I hate it? No. Was it okay? Better than okay. But was it great? A little less than great. So then I gave it 3 stars. And I mean, potentially I would love to give each and every one of these short stories a little mini review on its own, but that would take forever. So I stuck to 3 stars. Now, what I feel about giving this book 3 stars is absolute shame. And it is not only because I am a complete Palahniuk fanatic, but it is because I think of the people who have not yet read this book. What I think of is the people who are perusing Goodreads, looking for something new to read. They see that Palahniuk has a new book out, but then they see that the overall rating is only 3.10 stars. But then all of his other books have really good ratings. So why does this one have a bad rating? And then they read all the reviews and they see all the individual star ratings and everyone's rating this 2 or 3 stars. So they say, oh, it must not be very good if it's only getting 3 stars. But it is good. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe on Goodreads that 3 stars is I liked it. And then 4 stars is like, I really liked it. And then 5 is, I loved it. I think 2 is okay. And 1 is didn't like it. So if I gave it 3 stars, it means that I liked it. But when I'm looking for a book and I see that someone I am friends with on Goodreads just liked a book, I don't really want to read it. Because I don't want to spend my time reading 400 pages of I just liked it. So that brings me around to the fact of, who am I really reviewing this book for? What purpose do the stars have to the outside world? Am I rating it for the author? No, because, Palahniuk is never going to see my individual 3-star rating and go, oh, my goodness, Sara doesn't like my book. But am I rating it for myself? No, I know that I like that book. I know what star I've given it. So that means I am rating it for the general public. And that is terrifying. The fact that I can have a say in whether or not someone reads a book is kind of scary. And I say that because everyone has different opinions. My favorite book is for sure not your favorite book. My top 5 favorite books are most likely not your top 5 favorite books. So when someone comes cruising along, just picking along at reviews, seeing what's up, and they see that I have rated Boy Snow Bird 2 out of 5 stars, they might even for a second think, maybe I shouldn't read that book. But you might love this book. I just didn't like it. I didn't think it had enough oomph. But that's just me. That's just my level of oomphiness that I'm rating on. I've seen this book at 5 stars. I think it has a pretty good rating overall on Goodreads. So why am I even rating it? Now this brings me to what I suggest everyone does when judging whether or not they are going to read a book based on reviews on Goodreads. What I do, I pick a book, I go onto its page on Goodreads, I ignore how many stars overall it has, and I scroll on down to the reviews. I don't really like reading reviews before I read a book. That I kind of save that for after, but I see the top few, and I see that John has given this book 5 stars. So I go to his profile and I go compare books. And then I see that John and I only have a 37% compatibility on the compare books feature. So I go back to the book page and I scroll down a little bit more. And I see that Susie rated this book 2 out of 5 stars. So I click on Susie's profile and I see that Susie and I have an 87% compatibility in our general libraries. So I say, Susie, I believe you. I am not going to read this book. So what I'm really getting at is the fact that this is just generally a PSA to use the compare books tool on Goodreads. Now, of course, there are redeeming factors for the star rating, and that is the written review. I don't know about you guys, but I don't read reviews before I read a book. And, well, you're saying that's kind of the whole point of reviews, is to see whether or not you'd like a book and what they have to say about it. But personally, I get clouded by what all the other people have to say about this book. And if someone in one review says, oh my God, it is so pretentious and I hate it, I will be reading the whole time and I'll be like, oh my God, this is so pretentious. This is so pretentious. This is so pretentious. And I will not enjoy it. And then in my review, when I write a review, my first line will be, oh my God, this was so pretentious. So what I do is I write my little review, I type her up, I give it a star, I post it on Goodreads, wait a little bit, think about the book, think more about the book, go back and edit my review because I was totally wrong and I was misinterpreting 1,000 things and I didn't think about a million other things. So then I retype it and I redo it and it's just blah, blah, blah. It's just completely different. And then I go onto the Goodreads page and I see other people's reviews and I'm reading through them. And I mean, some of them are kind of stupid and just like, this book's so dumb, I hate it. It was so bad, it was just horrible. But then others are just really thoughtful and really in-depth, and they make you think about so much. And that's what I love about booktube reviews too, is that people can just like talk and talk and talk and talk about all these things and all these connections in the books and everything. And that's why I like reading it afterwards, is because it engages me more in the book that I just read, instead of just reading a book, putting it down, forgetting about it, and starting a new one. I like engaging after I have read a book so that it means more to me and it has more impact on me as a person. And that's why I think reviews are more important, because I don't really think that reviews should impact what people read, because it's very personal and people have such vast reading expanses, because you cannot put two people together and have them tell each other exactly what they can and cannot read and what they will and will not enjoy, because it won't work out and they probably won't like each other's books. And I don't know, where is this going? I don't know where this is going. So in summary, personal preferences. 1, I find a book. I look at the overall star rating. I say, it's a little low. It's high. And then decide whether or not I want to delve deeper into finding out what that book is about. Step 2, I go down to the reviews and I check out people, see what they have to say, see how many stars they've given the books. And then that brings me to step 3, which is go onto those people's pages. I know, it's kind of creepy. And then I compare books with them. See if their books are comparable with mine. And if they do, their stock in me reading that book goes up. And if they don't, their stock in me reading that book goes down. So now I have a summary of whether or not Goodreads thinks I will enjoy this book. If it's good, if it's a good outcome, I'll read it. If it's not, I won't. I read the book. I like it. I type up my little review, post it on Goodreads, and then I go read the reviews. And I discuss the book. And I come on here and I discuss the book. And I go on Goodreads and Twitter and I discuss books with people. And that's how I think it should be done. Do I think that star ratings are completely arbitrary and also kind of confined and useless? Yes. But do I like them? Yes. Are those conflicting statements? Yes. Am I going to change my opinions about it? No. So that's all I have to say about that, really. When I did the poetry discussion, I said I was going to like script my next video that was a discussion and like be all prepared and stuff, but I'm totally not. I just like sat up from the couch and came in here and started recording. So this is probably a mess. But I hope that you guys have an opinion on this and you have formed your own opinion of this, and I would love to hear it. I want to know, A, if you believe in star ratings and if you think they're accurate enough to judge whether or not you like a book off of it. B, if you read reviews before or after you read a book. And C, just stuff. Just talk to me about stuff. What you think about rating and reviewing books, and if this applies to you at all. If I'm just weird and I just have weird feelings about these things, just tell me. Just be upfront with me, people. All right? If you would like to talk to me further, I can be found on Twitter and Goodreads. I will leave the link down below in the doobly-doo. I look forward to hearing your comments and hearing your feedback on this video. If you would like me to do more discussion videos, you should probably tell me, because I'm like considering not, because it's just kind of me rambling and that's not very exciting now, is it? So tell me what you think. Let me know your thoughts and things, all your stuff in your head. Just spill it. Just spill it out everywhere. Okay? I'll be back soon, I hope. That's all. Bye.